So good day everyone, I'm Maylene Villapana. Together with my co-discussant, Ms. Witzel de Rosario, we will be discussing another set of topics for this course, the teacher in the curriculum. And I will be discussing the assessment tools for each levels of learning outcomes. Also, see Ms. Witzel, she will be discussing another two sets of topics later. So before we go on to our discussion proper, let me read to you first our learning objectives for today's topic. So our learning objectives at the end of the lesson, the student should be able to identify the different assessment tools for each levels of learning outcomes. And B, explain the purpose and significance of assessment tools and measuring students' learning. And C, create a simple rubric aligned with the specific learning outcomes and present it to the class. So these are the goals that we will be attaining in this topic. So we have here the introduction of our topic, which is the knowledge, process, understanding, or KPU learning outcomes. So knowledge, process, and understanding are learning outcomes. Students who can show what they have gained knowledge can apply such knowledge and have achieved several meanings from the particular knowledge and have achieved the learning outcomes. The three types of learning and on the different levels can be assessed in many ways with the use of appropriate tools. So these different tools used to assess students' knowledge, skills, understanding, and performance. So the term assessment tools includes various methods and instrument educators use to evaluate learning outcomes at the different cognitive levels. So this gives a clear direction for the topic for the students also that they have this the set na ang goals for them, and the teacher also had planned the goals for the students and what they are about to learn, what they need to learn. So for the first one, we have here rather the types of tests to measure knowledge, process, and understanding of the students. So these are the main assessment tools that corresponds with the KPO model. I have mentioned, so the KPO model are the knowledge, process, and understanding of the students. So the following slides will be covering these methods in detail. So we will be presenting different examples of this model. So the first one, we have the objective test. So tests that require only one correct answer. It is difficult to construct but easy to check. So objective test requires only one correct answer. These includes format like multiple choice, true or false, and matching types. They are easy to score but require careful construction to ensure validity. So these types of tests is efficient and quick to grade, can cover a broad range of content in a less time. So for the next one, we have the pencil and paper test. So as the name suggests, the test is written on paper and requires a pencil to write. However, with the modern times, a pencil and paper test can also be translated to an electronic version, which makes the test paperless because we will be using electronic and not the paper in the pencil. So a paper and pencil test, a pencil and paper test is a traditional kind of test where students answer using a pencil and paper. So mostly elementary grades uses this method. So but today we can also use online versions like quizzes and Google Forms. These are called paperless tests. So these types of assessment is simple and familiar to most students, and teachers can use different question types like multiple choice or short answer. So for the next one, we have the simple recall. So this is the most common tool to measure knowledge. There are varieties of simple recall tests to be included like fill in the blanks, enumeration, identification, and simple recall. So simple recall, it is the most common type of test used to check if students remember facts. So from the word recall. So these are usually in forms of fill in the blanks, enumeration, identification, or direct questions. So it's easy to answer and fast to check. So teachers use it a lot or short drills or short quizzes, diba? Pag mo mag-discuss si teacher, magpakuha og one part and then magpa-quiz og enumeration like katong date, mga names, terminology. So that type of test is called simple recall. So for the next one, we have the alternative response test. So this is a type of pencil and pencil and pencil test or paper and pencil test, where two types of choices are provided. So the items can be stated in a question or a statement form. For example, true or false. So the Philippine population has reached 1 million. Is it yes or no? So another example, has the Philippine population reached 1 million? Is it yes or no? So this is the alternative response test. So this test gives only two possible answers, just like the example, usually in true or false or yes or no. So these are simple questions where students choose which one is correct. So this type of test, it's easy to make and to grade, but sometimes students can guess the answer, diba? Kay, most of the time when we study this kind of test, ma-remember dyan na to siya if ato dyan siya ka ng puluhan dyan na to siya memorize ato dyan siyang timanan. So this type of test is somewhat dili na to maano if na measure dyan na to ang understanding sa students about sa lesson kay mostly ang mga answers is gina-memorize nila. So in terms of that, the teacher must make sure that the questions are clear. It is good for testing, and also it can cover the broad basic knowledge of the students. So for the next one, we have the multiple choice test. So this is a type identified as the most versatile test type because it can measure a variety of learning outcomes. It consists of a problem and a list of suggested solutions. So this is what we use up until now, even in elementary, in high school, senior high school, and now even in college, we use this multiple choice test. So this test includes a question, several answer options. It could be 4, it could be 5. Mostly ang pinakataas yun is A, B, C, D, E. So kung naanay F, murag taas na kayo na. So mostly ang pinakataas sa yun nga choices is maabot siya sa E. So only one option is correct or the best answer, mamili ka dito sa choices. So this kind of test is very flexible. Kay, it can measure different levels of learning, not just memory, but also applicable on simple analysis. It covers many topics quickly and it is easy to score, but teachers are need to write good questions and choices to avoid confusing the students. Kay daghan ba yung choices? So the teacher must not present vague questions, so they must present it clearly so the students also can find clear answers with the choices provided. So for the next one, we have the multiple choice test pa rin. So this incomplete statement or direct question is called the STAM. So the list of suggested solution in one words, numbers, symbols, or phrases are called alternatives, options, or choices. So there should be 3 to 5 options in each item. So just what I have said earlier. So ang pinakadaghan lang dyan nga choices sa multiple choice is 5 lang yun siya. Ang pinaka least ana niya is 3, which is ABC. And then ang pinakataas is E taman. So multiple choice question. So the main part is called the STEM. So which is either question or an incomplete sentence. So then come an alternative or choices that usually have 3 to 5 options. Only one of these should be the correct. So na-mention na ako earlier. So for the next one, we have the correct answer type. So other alternatives are wrong and only one is correct answer. This can be constructed either directly or by completion of the sentence. So for example, direct questions. What is not a member of the ASEAN 2015 Economic Community? A, Vietnam, B, Korea, C, Malaysia, or D, Philippines. So this is about multiple choice question where only one answer is correct and the rest are wrong also. So it is a type of ano gihapon siya multiple choice wherein the students will choose of these options which are the correct answer for them. So isa lang jud ang pwede pilion nila diri, and you can see that it is a direct question. So dili siya confusing. So direct siya kung unsa jud ang gipangita sa question. So ang students makapili siya diri sa choices which is the best and which is the right answer. So for the next one, we have also the correct answer type gihapon. So this is also the incomplete sentence. So ganina is direct question siya nasa choices. Kini siya is incomplete sentence. Nagyapon sa choices. However, ang gipangitaan ni dia diri is incomplete iyang sentence wherein the students need to find unsay sumpay ani nga sentence. So for the example, a country in Southeast Asia which is not a member of the ASEAN 2015 Economic Community is A. Vietnam, B. Korea, C. Malaysia, D. Philippines. So you can see the difference, no, that incomplete sentence, wherein the question present incomplete sentence. So the students must fill in kung unsa ang kulang, wherein ganina is direct question to siya. So question lang siya, so mangita ang students kapag choices, out of 4 choices kung asa ang best and which is the answer of the question. So for the next one, we have the best answer test. All alternatives are correct, but only one is the best. So this one is a bit confusing because when the teacher is presenting this type of test, medyo ma-confuse yung students kay mostly all the answers are right. Kung basahon nimo ang kanang questions, malibog jud ka kay asa ang tamang answer. So you just have to choose which is the best answer. Well, of course, katong tanan answer is tama to siya, pero mamili lang jud ka kung asa ang best answer. So for example, ani is direct question. So what do progressive educators consider the most important factors in teaching and learning process? So the teacher will be presenting answers this one, so you just have to choose which is the best answer. So for the next one, we have the best answer gihapon siya sumpay atong ganina nga slides, which is in here. We have presented the choices of that question. So we have also here the incomplete sentence. Incomplete sentence siya ganina is direct question. So for the incomplete sentence, same as ganina sa multiple choice, wherein nagpresent po ta og incomplete sentence example type of question. In here, best answer type. So all of the answers you can see in here sa A, B, C, D, and D, these are all right. So you just have to choose which is the best answer. So for the question, according to the progressive educators, the most important factor in the teaching and learning process is A, teacher, B, learners, C, books, D, principal. So these are correct answer because these persons and these factors are important in teaching and learning process. So the student just have to pick which is the best answer for this question. So for the next one, we have the matching type. So we are all familiar with this because up until now, most of the teachers and even our instructors in college, we use this matching type test. So these are the common, or this is the common matching type test. Is made up of 2 parallel columns. So you're familiar with this. We are on the side. So the column A is the premise that presents the problem. For the second column provides the answer. So there are many modified matching types as well, wherein kanang most of the teachers, they tend to change the kind of something like layout or kanang forma sa pagkuan sa mga questions, but same gihapon siya nga matching types gihapon siya napud to katong i-x di mo siya i-connect di mo siya matching types gihapon to siya, wherein kini nga example is gi-column lang siya ang matching types during nga side is the problem niya present, and then diri nga side is mamili ang students kung asa ang answer atong nga mga problems. So this is the example of a matching type. So you can see here relationship that can be used in matching type test. So a person, unsa ang iyang, these are the problems. In here, these are the problems, and these will be the answer or the solution of these problems. So let's proceed with the perfect matching type. So the number of premises in column A is less than the number of the responses in the column B. The response can only be used once. So from the word perfect matching type, so this means that there are more answers in column B than questions in column A. So bit confusing jud siya kay most of the students kay may sila nga hala ang number 1 kay kuan naman ni siya, ang number 5 kay ang wala na lang na nabili na lang answer kay E, so dali na lang nato ibutang ang E. So a bit confusing ni siya, lisod ni siya para sa estudyante kay daghan ang answer kaysa sa problem. So malibog sila nga napay na sobra nga mga answer asa nila ibutang. So each answer is used only once. So bawal magbalik-balik ang answer. So this encourages students to understand each match carefully because there's no repetition of the answer. only the answer can only exist once. So dili to siya mabalik nga answer. So the students must scrutinize, evaluate which is the answer, what is the best answer, what is the correct answer of that question para dili sila mamali. So it helps them sharpen their understanding and focus since students can just guess or repeat answers, diba? Mostly if those students na tamad mag-answer, so gina-repeat nila, mag-asa lang sa intuition nga, kini guro siya A, guro ni siya, kani, ay, ko man na-answer ang B, so mag-B ta diri, so, dili na siya pwede ani nga test type because you have to scrutinize jud kay it only present one answer, so one answer lang siya and daghan sa choices, so confusing siya, so need jud ang kanang imong evaluative thinking and criticizing those answers which suits the problem or the questions that you are answering. So this is the example no of kanang perfect matching type, which is perfect matching type. We're in the column A. We have here the premise. Number 1, Ramon magsaysay, and then in here, diba, we have noticed that in the premise, in the problem, there are only 3 problems. In the column B, which is the responses that the students, where they're gonna choose their answer, we have 4. So confusing sa kana siya masubra isa, so dili ka pwede magtag-tag na kung asa ni mo ibutang si A, asa ni mo ibutang si B. So you need to evaluate and criticize the responses that are connected to the problem or the premise that you are figuring out. So for the next one, we have the imperfect matching type. So the number of premises in column A is not equal to the number of the responses in column B, or the other way around. So the response or the premise can be used more than once. So this is opposite sa perfect matching type. Yung imperfect matching type, as you can see, the column A is not equal to the number of the column B, which is na opposite siya. Kay ganina, mas daghan ang column B. Karon na pod, mas daghan ang column A. So mas daghan ang problem or ang premise kaysa sa responses. So gamay ra ang responses. So maglibog hapon ang students mga sa sila kuan. And also the answer can be presented twice. So the students really need to evaluate and scrutinize the question so as the answers for these test types. Okay, mas libog ni siya guro kaysa sa isa. So for the next one, we have here the example of the imperfect matching type. Wherein we have here the column A for the premise. As you can observe, we have 5 problems or 5 premises. And then for the column B, we only have 4 responses. So somewhat opposite lang siya sa ganina gipresent sa perfect matching type. However, kini siya is, ang responses nimo is pwede nimo siya ibalik og kaduha or katulo ba siya. It depends sa imong premise if mao ba na siya ang answer. So for the next one, they have the subjective test. So we are done with the objective test. So we have discussed different examples like a multiple choice matching type. So now you know that objective tests only present one answers. So isa lang dyan siya ka-answer, which the term objective. So there's no other answers because the answer is already predicted, and the answer is, or kung sa teachers pa, they knew the answer now. So you just have to choose the best answer, which is the correct answer. So there is no other answer, which is somewhat opposite siya sa subjective test. So because subjective tests or learning outcomes, which indicates the learner's ability to originate and express ideas, are difficult to test through objective type test. Hence, in the subjective type test, answers through reflection, insights, and opinions can be given through essays. So most of the subjective tests, sa essays yun hindi mo siya makita because essays is what it is where the learners express their ideas about like societal issues. It depends on the teacher kung unsa ang problems nga presents the teacher when it comes to essay. Mostly some of our teachers before, way back in high school, they present present problems in our economy, like societal problems, what are the issues that are present, or kanang rampant nga issues wherein the teacher asked our ideas or our stance of that regarding issues, wherein we answer those questions in essay type. So we express there unsa among thoughts about sa happenings sa society nga among na observe. So that test type is called subjective test because it is subjectives it presents various different perspective from the students. There's no right or wrong answer because mostly subjective tests are opinionated. But as a teacher, you're going to judge those tests based on your understanding of the answer of the students. Kung asa para sa imo ang wherein subjective test yun nag-follow yun siya rubric to avoid bias kay if you're going to follow just your like kanidi ko ganahan ni pagka-construct ana-ana siya, so the teacher must have the rubric para ma-clearly or ma-check niya unbiasedly ang mga answers sa students when it comes to essays or subjective tests. So we have here like essay test items allow students freedom of response. As I have said earlier, you can express everything you want when it comes to the problems that being asked with you in the exam or any type of questioning. So students are free to select, relate, and present ideas in their own words. So the type of answers would reflect the extent of the learner's knowledge of the subject matters, ability to use higher order thinking skills, and express their ideas in an accurate, creative, and appropriate language. So, because essays follow rubrics nga, as what I have said earlier, you must, when answering a question, you must think critically and answering those questions and express accurate ideas and be creative and appropriate language use. Kaya dili mo ka pwede magamit ng mga any language nga inappropriate nga ginagamit nimo usually, especially in casual conversation, because essay writing is a formal writing, so you must use formal language also. So we have here there are different types of essay writing. Two types, yeah, we have two types of essay writing. So we have here the first one, which is the restricted response item. So from the word restricted, this is like an expanded form of short answer type objective test. So there is a limitation in both the content, scope, and the form of students' response. It is the most useful in measuring learning outcomes that require the interpretation and application of data in a specific area. So for example, some questions are restricted response item like what are the main body parts of plants? Describe each part. So you're going to answer that. So why is the barometer one of the most useful instruments to forecast the weather? Explain in one paragraph. So when we say restricted kasi, this is a kind of essay where the question limits what the student should talk about and how long the answer should be. So from the question, explain in one paragraph. So you're being restricted. So your answer must contain lang jud one paragraph. So there is no exceeding, there is no decreasing. So only one paragraph, you're going to present your ideas, your whole ideas in one paragraph. So dili siya manubra isa kay one lang jud siya. And for the first question, the example here, describe each part. So you just have to describe each part. Dili ka pwede mag-describe og lain part. Kay each part lang jud imo ang i-describe. So you're being restricted with your response. So from the word restricted nga. So for the another example, which is we have here the extended response item, which is opposite to the restricted because the students are generally free to select any factual information that can help in organizing the response. So the contents of an extended essay will depend on the analysis, synthesis, evaluation, and other higher order thinking skills of the test taker. So we have here the example for the question of this extended response item, which is evaluate the significance of the result of the national referendum of Scotland to the global peace condition. So mo ni siya ang question. You are not restricted here. So it means that you are allowed to choose what information to include and how to explain it on your own and how you view it, what is your perspective in it. You just have to express your ideas without limitation. So this test is good for deep understanding and critical thinking. For example here, we have the presented questions or issues that the teachers ask for the students, like this term new normal. How can you're going to describe this in terms of its change to the people, to the environment? So it allows students to show their ability to organize and evaluate and present complex ideas that they have in mind. So they can express what they want, they can answer what they want, how long they want, as long as. Well, of course, most of the teachers, even though extended response item siya, nagalimit gyapon sila kay lisod pug taas na kay nga redundant naman gud siya. So, pero the students are free to express their ideas. But this needs more than time and effort should kay from both students and teachers when you're constructing extended response. So, mas taas-taas jud siya, mas need you to wider ideas. So, this is somewhat challenging with the students, which is also good for them kay maka-express sila sa ilahang ideas thoroughly. So, these are morning examples sa two types of essay, which is the restricted response essay items and extended response. We have here the examples. For the restricted response, explain the cause and effect relationship. You just have to explain the cause and effect. So there's no other things you need to explain, just the cause and effect. So for the extended response, organize ideas, integrated learning, design, and experiment. So it is somewhat broad, or it is somewhat like organized siya nga process. So mas lisod siya kaysa sa restricted. However, mas na kay freedom there is extended response essay items. So that's it. So Miss De Rosario, we will be discussing this topic. So that's all for my part. Thank you.